going on, everybody? I owe you an explanation. It's been a while since I have made a video. What happened was I have been making some changes, and primarily it is in the rig. Maybe a thumbnail. The 2500 I overloaded a couple times and it got pretty sketchy going through Winkleman and the 10% grades, and I just switched paths. Dealership sent me a buyback for my Cummins, and they ended up having this on their lot, and with some fudging of numbers was able to make it make sense to trade it. So it's got 80,000 less miles than the Cummins had, and it's a 6.7 F450, 430 rear ends, so it's geared like a freight train. It doesn't like to do any more than 75 miles an hour, and even then it is shaking the whole cab. It probably needs a couple rear tires, but I've probably put 6,000 miles on it or so. It's a truck, man. It has pulled anything I've put behind it, and it's definitely, I don't think I've touched the same weight because it's a heavier truck, and I'm still working on my CDL, so I'm staying under 26. So my cargo has gone, my cargo payload's gone down a little bit. So I've only really hauled like 8,000 or 9,000 behind it, but even then it feels amazing, and I'm still working out. Like, it needs the rear tires, and the front brakes are squeaking a little bit, so I found somebody had a used set of brakes locally that weren't used. They're open box, he can't return them for whatever reason, for like a 2016 to 21 F450 550. So I want to go snag those up for cheap. But God, man, this thing is just a good looking truck. It really is. It's got a pretty sure it's just a Freedom Hauler bed. All the stickers on the bed say Monroe bed, so the dealership thought that's what it was. But it's I can only find that to be a dealership of beds. So I think it's a Freedom Hauler. I've seen a lot of similar ones. But today we're changing the oil because, like I said, I put a few thousand miles on it. And people say change this oil every 5,000 when you're hauling. And this truck just pulls a trailer. Mostly a camper, but this flatbed too. But yeah, aside from the rig, I just finished ELD school for my CDL. Is ELDT training. It's some stupid thing that they changed 2 years ago to make it more complicated to get a CDL. Finished that, and now I'm taking pre-trip classes at this place in Phoenix to pass a pre-trip test, and then I can take a driving test. I've driven semis, but you just have to do it right. And that's what I'm doing. But till then, we're doing a lot of fence and barn for agricultural hauling, to stay a little under the radar while I finish that setup. And then we also got put a picture of it here. My late boss's brother was nice enough to give me this trailer as a part of a package for the company. So I have an Airtow trailer now to maintain a forklift contract that we had with Arnold over there. I'm gonna get that going again soon. I might cut all this out. I might leave it, I don't know. But I owed you guys a video. This is kind of what I've been doing. Just been busy. Baby's 10 months old at home. Trying to run this truck, put myself through the school, make all the bills and stuff at the same time. It's just been busy. I have so much footage. Oh my God, there's so much footage I can edit, but I just haven't had time to edit. And when I come home, I don't want to get on a computer to do that. I want to get on a computer to play games most of the time. But just go over the truck a tiny bit. These 19.5s are a new experience. Front two are absolutely expensive. I need 3 more in the rear, but I'm just making them last as long as I can. I got one on the other side. And I'll show you because it got a freaking 3 nails in a row, so this one's nice and pretty. Looks like a damn semi truck, but that tire had, the previous tire on that, you know, right there, had 3 nails in it, and the shop tried to repair it, didn't charge me because they said it might fail. Sure enough, the next morning it was flat, so I went to a buddy and overpaid for one tire, so I'm just waiting to get a good deal. But Monroe bed, you know, tons of good stuff. Tire repair kit for me if, knock on wood, anything ever happens. Jack to change some tires. It's got a good spare under it if I ever need to, and now that I have a dually, you know, I can pull one of those off if I needed to and still be okay. It's got a 60-gallon RDS transfer tank, which actually not RDS, that was my last one, the name of it, but it's kind of washed out. Awesome tank. I'll show you the interior a little bit, because that tank is just controlled via switch, so it also coincides with the fuel tank of the truck. So if the switch is turned off, it won't do anything, but if the switch is turned on and the fuel tank drops below 25 or below 50%, it'll fill up until 75, and if it drops below 25%, it'll fill up till full. And then, I mean, obviously you can just keep it turned on and fill that tank. And I haven't kept it turned on, but I haven't used the truck tank a lot. I just fill that bed up because, you know, I'm not OTR. I don't need 100 gallons of fuel on the bed or on the truck. But yeah, man, I absolutely love it. Didn't do the oil change on the last diesel, and that might be the problem. I had somebody do it, and somebody is very trustworthy, and I'd have him do other stuff for sure. I just, you gotta care about it, you know, you gotta do it yourself. Oh, shit. What a goddamn mess. Let me see what this looks like if I just put this on with you guys right there. I'm in the dirt, you know. Truck's not even jacked up. That's the beauty of the truck. All right, we're back under it. You take your clean oil filter that has a little bit of oil around it. Oh, Jesus. You set yourself up for success before. So you scoop that over. It's full of hot oil. Come up here. Reds. Yeah. First try? First try. Look at that. That doesn't happen often. So I already made sure that the seal from the previous filter was off. This is pretty much how to change your oil, I guess. Made sure the previous seal was off, which is right here. And had I not noticed, I would have been screwed, because if you're lucky, it'll come off with the filter, you know, when you take it off. But on this one, it got stuck. Alright, I'm gonna go look in our shop and see if we have brake cleaner, so I can clean that up properly, not smell oil. BRB. Today, it is Monday, and I'm just getting back into Phoenix from Mesa without the trailer, because discovered last week that we had some shifted leaf springs. Took one apart and went to a couple suspension shops in Mesa. One did not have it. There was another spot in Mesa that had 2 of them, and then there happened to be a Big Tex down the street that had 2 more, so I had my complete set of 4. But lo and behold, Big Tex was the cheapest place to get the same exact leaf spring. So going forward in the future, and for all you guys, if you're curious, just go to the Big Tex parts department. because if it's a little rinky-dink dealership like I went into, they're just trying to get stuff out of there and get everybody taken care of. So a couple $100, I was, you know, solid with my leaf spring. We're getting a snack right now, and then we're gonna go back and get those installed, and I'll try and film something about it. Cool. All right, bye. Little update on my shenanigans. I got all of the correct leaf springs and U-bolts after running around Mesa this morning trying to find everything. I went and thought I did one side correctly, and then I looked at it, or actually I did the side behind it, and then I realized that the leaf springs weren't seating under the axle correctly, and I sent a buddy a picture and I said, this doesn't look right, do these have to be flush? And they're like, yeah, pretty much take it apart and start from the bottom and then tighten around that. And I said, all right. And my batteries were dead, so we called it a day. We're gonna go home and charge all the tools in the garage and then go back bright and early when it's not 110 and really grab it by the balls and do it then. But we're gonna run a couple errands, go pick up a check, and yeah, see what happens. Peace. I want to be a good content creator, you know, and update and make footage and stuff, but I have a very hard time committing to that. So we're a few days later now, and we finally figured out how to do this. Well, it took a while. So you have to line up, you go figure now, but gotta line up the set, you know, pins on the axle and on the leaf spring first, and then go around that. I did the other way around. So we're fixing all this. Hopefully I'm done today. It's like 7 a.m., but it's already 105 degrees, so let's boogie. All right. I've made incredible progress, and I want to show. And I want to do my due diligence as a videographer person. So whatever I said previously was incorrect, and after realizing some bullshit and actually reading a message my buddy sent me, got one absolutely installed correctly. Don't look at the wiring, still need to fix that, but that leaf spring is seated perfectly. Everything is good and tight. I'm working on the rear passenger now, and I just got the first and second U-bolts through the hole, and just wanted, so you see a little bit of gap, but that U-bolt tightening up is going to fix that. It's just, if you're about to do this and you think you got it, you do. It's really easy. Just talk to somebody first, because had I known what I do now about how to do these and take everything off, get both wheels off the ground of the axle so there's no angle. Everybody was telling me, oh, just go with the angle, but I must have not been saying something right, or I didn't understand something correctly or whatever. But as soon as I got the other side off the ground of the axle that I was working on, the angle went away, obviously. I mean, that's physics, weight, and how leaf springs work. So if I just thought about that and did it first, I probably could have got this done the first day. But here we are a few days later when we're finally getting it done. Just wanted to update. Now I am getting my bolts and washers up on the U-bolts, tightening them down to 80 foot-pounds. And yeah. I'll update you guys if something else happens later. You know, I was just about to do this last night, but I figured let's show something, you know. It's not gonna be great footage. You know what, we're just gonna hold it. So the trick is, I'm doing the last U-bolt nut, right? So the axle, in theory, could drop. So you wanna look out. Maybe it catches some of the tire, and that's okay. But you don't wanna be directly under the axle. One-handed. Oh, it didn't drop, good deal. So we take our little U-bolt, just Slide that over a little bit. Nice. Some persuasion. That one's a little better. You get the nuts out. Might have to fuck with the geometry a little bit, see how it wants to hang. Get the nuts out, let the leaf spring drop, swap the new one in, and then you align it first. Under this little plate, there's a hole, and then there's a bolt going out of all the leaf springs that you line up. And you do that. All right, let me finish. Woo! All right, so if you're doing these leaf springs and these U-bolts, this plate right here doesn't line up, something is not right. Because I'm going off fingertips right now. I can't even see shit. So I'm first feeling for that pin on the bottom to line up with the center on here. Boom. Boom. Look at that. Woo! Yeah, I can feel it's all the way through. Oh yeah. Right there, baby. So we have one of these fancy, I called them something incorrectly earlier. Fine motor skills right here. No, lefty loosey, righty tighty, Jeremy. But am I upside down? Dude, I'm not an idiot. There it is. Okay. Yeah, righty tighty.
Try to kind of line them up to the other holes the best you can, or the other markings for the bolts you had in here before. I would imagine. That makes the most sense to me. See, yeah, that one feels like it'd be lefty tight. Good deal. And my other one. Beauty. Beautiful. If you guys saw how I was going to run the other side, what I thought was okay before. Come on. Come on. This is almost, now that I know how to do it, you know, it's almost nice to do. It's almost kind of soothing. There you go, first try. So,
I need to be able to get an impact under here. I don't think it'll fit right now. Maybe? No. Okay. I need to get the jack back over here. Impact up and snug them good and tight a little bit. And then hit them to 80 foot-pounds of torque so I don't over-torque them. Yep. And then put my nuts and bolts back on this shit. Feels good, man. Doing your own maintenance. It's cool. All right. My back hurts. I'm under a trailer. All right, bye. A little late of an update, but miraculously must have done something right because did fine on a quick little test drive and then just went and got 2 cars loaded up from scrapyard, and the trailer does great. It somehow acts even better going over bumps and stuff, which is probably accurate because there was almost no suspension before. Good deal. It's pretty cool. But get these pulled off, go home, hopefully edit some of this stuff, and maybe have a video tonight. We'll see what happens. Appreciate you guys watching. Take it easy. Bye.